This is going to be ranking every U.S. state shape by how good of a Christmas tree it would make. Now, size won't be a factor in this. I'm going to consider each one to be about the size of a typical Christmas tree, and any part of the state could be the tree leg, so it doesn't have to be standing straight up and down. Number 50, a very easy choice, Hawaii. There's no way you could use this as a tree. The best you could do is like maybe some garland on your mantle. 49, Maryland. All these gaps in the bottom and not much up top. This is absolutely pathetic and somehow worse than the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. 48, Colorado. Yes, it's a perfect rectangle, but it's very boring, looks nothing like a tree, and there's no character to this one. 47, Wyoming. Exact same thing, but it looks like there's a little bit of curve here on this side, so slightly better, I guess. 46, Kansas. Same boring rectangle, but there's a bite taken out of the top left corner, so a little bit of character to this one. 45, North Dakota. Another boring one that's obviously not tree-shaped at all, but at least the top does have some branches. 44, New Mexico. Now, I like that this one has a good leg, but the problem with this is it's all the way on the left side, so this thing's going to be very prone to tipping over. 43, Arizona. Now, it's got some good branches over here, but the problem is I'm already worried about this tree tipping over that way, so just hanging ornaments on only that side is just going to make that even worse. 42, Utah. I like this gap in the corner. You could put a large ornament, a star, an angel, but at the end of the day, it's still a boring tree. 41, North Dakota. Another rectangle, but it does have the most branches of any one we've seen so far. 40, Montana. Rectangle, but good branches. 39, Michigan. This part here is nice, but all this mess over here is somehow going to have to hang from the ceiling. 38, Texas. I just have no clue how we're going to get this thing to stay standing up. 37 is Florida. You've got this portion over here that absolutely could work, but then all of this over here just makes the tree look stupid. 36 is Louisiana. Same thing as Florida. This extra area over here just ruins it. But the good thing about this one is there are a ton of branches all over this one to use for ornaments. 35, Oregon. It's got some good branches, but since this is the flattest part, it's got to be the base. And unfortunately, that means this tree is a little bit too wide rather than tall. 34, North Carolina. Again, I need the base to be flat so it doesn't lean, and that just makes it way too awkwardly wide. I'd rather it be straight up and down. 33, Nebraska. If you're noticing a theme here, too wide. That's not fitting in my living room. 32, Minnesota. Now, this one does at least have a lot of branches for ornaments, and this point right here would be perfect for an angel or a star. 31, Tennessee. The opposite problem we've been having. It's too awkwardly skinny. 30 is Washington. We've got some good branches up here at the top, but just a little bit too rectangular for me to be used as a tree. 29, Alabama. Same thing. Another one that's just a little too awkwardly shaped to be a Christmas tree, but it does have some branches and this area right here that you could use for your Christmas tree topper. 28 is California. Not overly wide, but it would certainly be tall. You got to use your imagination a little on this one because you're going to lean it a little bit this way, and that's going to be the leg. But if your dog or cat bumps into it, it's definitely going to fall over. 27 is Rhode Island. Now, it could be worse because it does have some good branches, but it's still not great, and I don't like this extra piece up here. You're going to have to, like, string that to your ceiling to get it to stay. 26, Oklahoma. The shape isn't too bad, and this extra portion up top is pretty unique. You also have a ton of branches over here, but I hate how flat that is. You can't hang any ornaments on that side. 25 is Iowa. It's got a good leg that's centered, so I don't have to worry about it tipping, but on the sides, there's no branches, so we can't even put ornaments on this tree. 24, Pennsylvania, same thing, but maybe you could put an ornament here or here, and there's 2 spots at the top for 2 separate Christmas tree toppers. 23 is Nevada. Maybe a surprise it made it this far because it's not great, but the upper half is exactly like a Christmas tree because it gets smaller as it goes to the top. 22, Indiana. The sides don't offer a ton in terms of decorations, but you could do a bunch around the top. 21, Massachusetts. Same thing. You can't do too much down here, but there's a ton of room for ornaments up there. 20 is Mississippi. Not much to offer on this side, but just look at all those branches over there. You could put so many ornaments on this one. 19, Arkansas. Same thing, a nice base and tons of room for decorations over here. 18 is Connecticut. Now, it is a little too squared, but I love that it's got a good leg and tons of branches on the side. 17 is Alaska. I love that it's got 2 legs, so you don't have to worry at all about it tipping over, and then a ton of branches over here on this side, but this side is a little too flat. 16 is West Virginia. Obviously, you need to turn it like this, so you've got the 2 legs for support, and then it's a very full tree, so you can fit tons of ornaments on here. 15 is New York, one of the few that we have that is larger at the bottom and then gets smaller as it goes up top, so just like a Christmas tree. The only problem is you've got to tuck these branches up here, but otherwise this one works. 14 is Missouri, which you also have to tuck this little bottom portion up around the edge, but still I like this one because it angles upwards just like a Christmas tree. 13 is Ohio. I do wish we had more defined branches on each side, but I like that it's got a leg in the center, so very balanced, and it's also just a very full tree. Number 12 is Wisconsin. Now, I don't really like how big it is up here at the top compared to the bottom, but there's still a lot to like about this one. A ton of really clearly defined branches, so that's great, and then also got a point at the top that we could put our tree topper on. 11 is Maine. Got to turn it like this because that right there is our leg. Now, similar to the last one, I don't like how big the top is, but also like the last one, there's a bunch of places down here where you could hang your ornaments. Number 10 is Illinois. Now, similar to the last two, it doesn't really get smaller as you get to the top, but this whole top section does look a lot like a Christmas tree. Number 9 is Delaware. I really like this one. It's larger at the base and then gets smaller as you reach the top, and it's even got a point where you could put an angel or a star. Number 8 is Virginia. It's a little flat over on this side, but overall I like this one because it's larger on the bottom and gets smaller towards the top. Number 7, Idaho. A nice large base that thins out as you reach the top and room for decorations all over. Number 6 is Georgia. Bigger down here and it gets smaller as you reach the top, just like a Christmas tree. Also got a leg down here near the middle and tons of room for decorations on the side. Number 5 is Vermont. Same thing, it angles up just like a Christmas tree and there's tons of branches on the side to hang ornaments on. Number 4 is New Jersey. Now it does lean a little bit and there's some gaps in the middle, but otherwise this one's great. A centered leg down below and it's angled up at the top on both sides just like a Christmas tree. Number 3 is New Hampshire. My only complaint is this side over here is a little too flat, but this side angles in perfectly and there's a ton of branches for ornaments. Number 2 is Kentucky, a nice wide base that thins out as you reach the top, tons of branches, and this upper portion right there looks just like the top of a Christmas tree. And number 1, South Carolina. Yes, I know it's a little short and a little fat, but it is almost the perfect shape of a Christmas tree.